Hello, good morning, you guys. Yeah, I got the flu. I have the flu. That's why I was feeling so bad. Like my legs was aching and stuff, and they're saying that in Memphis, the hospitals have been crowded out with people with the flu. Supposedly, it's a new strand. I don't know. That's what I heard. And with COVID, so hell, I don't know which is worse, the flu or because I've had COVID before too. But when I had COVID, I it was bad. I don't even know how I got COVID because I was not being around anybody, staying in the house. I guess I got it from it probably was in the air like they had said. But this is my first time ever having the flu. So hey Miss Shan. So I'm at home for the next few days until I can get myself back right. So I was up all last night because I cannot lay down when my head is stopped up. Like I'd be scared I ain't gonna be able to breathe in my sleep or something. So hey Tashawn. Hey Miss Sunshine. So the flu is just as bad, y'all. I promise you. It makes your body ache. Thank you, Shan. Thank you. I'm trying to get to a place whereas because I'm a positive person, but I'm trying to get to a place of where even when those things that have hurt me come up, I can stay in a positive place. I'm trying to get to that because believe it or not, I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. Thank you, Sunshine. I remember a time that my daughter's dad and I, the youngest one, we couldn't even have really like a conversation. We could never really even have a conversation because I couldn't stand him. Um, and now but our daughter is grown now. So I think it's about growth to and acknowledging like I guess I guess things that I did too because I I think about myself. I can be something else too, y'all. Now who calling me this early? I don't even know what a phone is. Hold on. I gotta find it. I'm aching. Hold on. Okay, that was my grandbaby calling, FaceTiming me. I know I look a mess. I know I look a mess. Hey, Well Runs Black. Hey, Miss Muffin. Who else did I miss when my grandbaby called me? Hey, Miss Ebony. I wanted to talk about, like, I was looking at, like, I've been looking at, like, paying close attention to, like, the rap and stuff, the rappers, and even some of the rappers, like, all of them are not beefing in Memphis, but well, they have, rather they're beefing with another rapper in Memphis. Hey, Joke Free, or they're beefing with like somebody outside of Memphis, and I get to think, I like I really hate. I always say this to see these young men and stuff at it. I get to think about Stupid Duke, and I don't really know, like, with Young Mob, like what they've done as far as like criminal activities or anything like that. You hear rumors on YouTube and stuff. I don't know, right? But what I do know is that, hey, Whole Lot of Woods. What I do know is that Young Mob has started to, I don't know. I think they had started like a movement. I think it could have been good because you started to see like Stupid Duke rapping. You started to see CEO Jizzle, who I think had a lot of potential and still does because he's very young. He'll probably be out in like a year or so. Hope I don't. With Stupid Duke and looking at some of his um interviews, Stupid Duke seemed like he was a cool person. He seemed harmless, right? I don't know him, but he did. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. He seemed harmless. I don't know him though, but I don't know. I think his situation um looks a little bit more sticky. Okay, it's a little bit more sticky because I kind of think that Stupid Duke situation. I think with his situation, he's being accused of unaliving like several people, right? Um, yeah, I think they was at war with, um, unfortunately, with some of those little dudes, um, that was signed to Black Youngster. I do believe, like, I don't know verbatim, but I do believe that that's what it was. Um, and hey, I don't know what it's going to be with him, but you know, um, I think, what's the word that I'm looking for? I think he's got, yes, it is. It's 24 degrees here. And I got the flu. I got the flu. So I'm at home for the next few days until I can get myself well. I've never had the flu before. Never. And I'm hearing that like the hospitals is packed, the emergency room is packed with people in Memphis, like with flu and um COVID. So I was telling my mom, I said, I guess it's better than COVID. I don't know, hell. But when I had COVID that one time, I had a fever and I didn't think I was gonna make it through the night. It was so bad. My fever was so high. But um yeah, my fever was so high. But I made it. Thank God. I haven't had a fever, but my throat has been sore, my body has been aching. Um I can't really eat anything. I did make me some chicken noodle soup, and the broth and stuff was really good. So um, I'm gonna eat some more of that today. I've been drinking coffee for my throat and turmeric and taking my antibiotics. So hopefully I would have kicked this thing by to hopefully by tomorrow. I hope so by tomorrow. Um, yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Anyways, um, and I do not like being congested. Oh my god, because it gets worse at night. But yes, it's 24 degrees, and I mean it's just the way the weather has fluctuated. You know what I mean? I think it's the way that the weather has fluctuated, like up and down. Yeah. Um, 70 just a couple days ago, and now it's down in the 20s. And I just hope it don't go back up. But it's we're going into January, so that's around the time like we start having like all of those the winter storm. We normally get a winter ice storm like in February. I do not like the month of February because it's normally when Memphis start getting those ice storms and stuff. I'm just praying like, Lord, I do not want to do that. I want that to happen. But if it has to happen, I would rather for it to just go on and happen so that we can have an early spring. Because spring is my favorite time of the year. I'm just ready to get on the other side of this. Good God Almighty. I ain't felt this bad since, like I said, COVID. And I took the flu shot one time and I never took it again because my arm swelled up and I felt terrible. I felt terrible. Anyways, I was talking about why do Memphis rappers stay at each other's necks? Uh, Hold on, y'all. I got a blow, as they say. Okay, you guys. I always feel better when I blow my nose and at least release some of that pressure. Like I was saying before, you have to think about, and it's unfortunate that as much talent as there is in Memphis, um, there's also, I don't know, like that spirit of jealousy. Um, and it's another type of spirit. He said Woods came through. Yeah, who is a whole lot of Woods? I thought his name looked familiar. A whole lot of Woods. The name looked familiar. I'm gonna make me some organic lemons, like some. I'm gonna put some lemon and some water and turmeric and ginger and honey, and I might have to go ahead and put a little bit of that Jack Daniel and make me a toddy. Yeah, but there's like a spirit of jealousy. Woods does gloves, guns down it. Oh, okay. Um, that lingers over the city of Memphis, unfortunately. And although there's a lot of talent, like I said, I think that spirit of lack, because I think lack is a spirit. For some reason, that spirit of lack, I don't know, it's hard for that, or that mindset of lack. It's hard for a lot of people to detach. A lot of them to detach from. Okay. I keep going back to Young Dolph because like Young Dolph had a mindset that I wish a lot of these other young dudes had, right? Young Dolph had a mindset of he lived in his abundance. You know what I mean? He would say he spoke his stuff into existence. You listen to some of his interviews and stuff. He said, "I'm gonna be a billionaire. I already know it." He spoke being a millionaire into existence, and then he lived in it. You know what I mean? A lot of people may call it cocky, but I get to thinking about it now. It's like just living in what you are. I don't have a lack mindset. I don't lack. I have an abundant mindset. And I live in it and I walk in it. And I think that's where the disconnect is. I think with some of these dudes and women too, um, they feel like if somebody else gets it before them, then they can't get it. You know what I mean? They take their eyes off of even the what's the word that I'm looking for? They take their eyes off of their abundance, because their abundance is having the talent. God is giving them a gift. And so they take their eyes off of, I got the gift. See, Young Dolph didn't do that. Rather, if you listen to some of Young Dolph's rap, it's like he got better and better and better. Because people may not have been feeling him in the beginning, but he had a confidence, he had a determination. And when you start listening to his music, it's like his rap got better, like his sound, even when he rapped, it got better with time. It got better and better and better, right? Um, you listen to somebody like Yo Gotti, you have to give it to Yo Gotti has um what's the word that I'm looking for? I think that Yo Gotti has a unique sound, right? If you listen to some of his music from early on, um, he always had a nice flow, right? He he already had it, okay. But Young Dolph, from what I could see, he perfected his, and he got better and better and better, right? Some people already have it, and then some people have it, but they have to perfect it to get better and better, right? And that's what I see as it relates to them. That's why I like going and listening to now, some of Young Dolph's music from when he first started. And then in his latter years, how his flow was, his confidence, his sound, and all of that. Like, that's a person that believed in himself, right? Um, and he spoke what he wanted to into existence, right? He lived in that. And so people may have called it cocky, but no, it's just walking it and talking it and believing it, okay? And so I get to thinking about, I love, that scripture in the Bible. I believe it's in Genesis. And I be getting emotional when I think about that too, because I think we forget, because God spoke everything into existence. He says, I am that I am. And so we call people cocky because God says, I am that. Okay. I am that I am. I am the great I am. And so if we're in the image of God and we speak everything into existence, I mean, how can we call somebody cocky if he says, "Hey, I'm a millionaire and I'm gonna walk like it and talk like it because I am that until I get there, and then when I become a millionaire, hey, I'm a become a billionaire and I'm a walking and talking because I am the great I am and I am an image of God." And so I think that's where the disconnect is as it relates to a lot of these young men, especially, and I'm talking about in my city, because I see so much like jealousy and hate with a lot of these little dudes and stuff. Um, a lot of people already had a nice little flow. Um, hey, had some things going for them, but they allow jealousy. They take their eyes off of what they have already been blessed with. Hey Diane, I was just saying this morning when I got up, I said I got to talk to my sister. I ain't talked to her in a couple days. I've been sick with the flu, and so um they take their eyes off of the blessing and the gift that God has already given them. And I come from, just looking at Yo Gotti and Young Dolph situation. Um Yo Gotti was blessed with a unique sound and all of that. Um and he took his eyes off of his blessing. And then greed too. Sometimes people can be too ambitious. Um and when I say too ambitious, um I feel like you're supposed to be ambitious, but what's the word that I'm looking for? I think you become too ambitious when you're willing to step on anybody to get what it is that you want. Okay. And I kind of think that's what happened to him. In my mind, I feel like him and that little crew of people that participated in doing that to Young Dolph. And that energy is replicated throughout Memphis, if you ask me. Unfortunately, um, they felt like that with Young Dolph getting his, either they didn't want to see him because he wasn't taking any money out their pocket with his, or they took their eyes off of the gift that God had given them, right? Um, and felt like with him getting what God had blessed him with, thank you, sunshine, that it wouldn't be enough for them. And so, listen, hey, I think that's why a lot of these rappers are at each other's necks, because it comes down to jealousy and insecurity, right? Because you could see these dudes and stuff beefing forever. They might have a little beef forever. But as soon as one of these rappers start blowing up and start trying to change their life, okay, you already didn't like him, but now all of a sudden, because they've started blowing up, they kind of, getting money in the rap industry and leaving the streets alone. They really ain't a danger to you now at this point. They start to turn their back on the gang banging and stuff. Now all of a sudden you never liked him, but now you want to kill him. And so that's why I say, hey, that spirit has been prevalent, unfortunately, in Memphis for a while now, and I think it needs to be called out. Um, he said, please drink some tea, and yeah, I'm gonna drink some hot toddy. Um, so unfortunately, that's the reasons why we see that, and I think it has to be called out, right? That spirit of jealousy that reigns over, unfortunately, my city, and it's not just with the men. It's a lot of the women too. It's just really sad. I was thinking about, there are certain places like um, that I refuse to go to. Okay, I had a friend of mine that I'm cool with, really, and I ended up going to something that she had. Okay, and it's funny because all of our childhood, like all of the young ladies that I had, just about it, that I had grown up around in Clementine was there. Okay, um, and it's weird because with me sitting there, like everybody's just tripping because we all trip, we all cuss, we all have fun. They do some things that I don't smoke and stuff. When I'm at people's houses, I don't drink at people's houses. You know what I mean? I drink, in my house if I'm gonna drink something, but because I'm paranoid. But it seems like that energy, and I can feel when energy is negative towards me. You know what I mean? It's almost as if either I want to size her up, but I'm still the same Chrissy that was kicking ass when I was living in Clementine. Okay, I'm still her. It's just that I got something to lose. I ain't get ready to be fighting with no bras that ain't got nothing to lose. But I think it's sad with that energy when people want to zone in on you, okay, to size you up, or because they got some type of jealousy. You know what I mean? I think, especially with us growing up together, like I think people kind of confuse, people who don't know me confuse my um my personality with my character, right? Um, and so when people have a jealous demon on them, they can't look past that and go, okay, she on her podcast, she entertaining. She's still she might be still the same Chrissy, that we grew up with. You know what I mean? One of the reasons that I'm able to stay cool with Vanessa is because Vanessa has never changed. I've never really seen Vanessa um be judgmental, right? So I think of all of that whole crew, because we had a friend that was that was cool. I was cool with. She was more my friend that grew up with us over there until we were adults. But when going into my 30s, I kind of cut her off, um, because I can't have a friend that's got a jealous spirit. Okay, I think one of the reasons why I take to Diane, and I really don't invite a lot of new friends and stuff in. So if I talk to you on the phone, if I'm hey, it's really got to be something special about you, right? But I really don't, and it ain't got nothing to do with a woman thing. You know how some women say, well, I just don't like women. No, I love women. I'm one of those ones that's pro woman, that love to see women. I don't hate on other women. I love to see women do well. I'm gonna be rooting them on and all of that. But it's unfortunate when people have just that jealous spirit, and it's just not in the men. And you have to think about some of these women that are my age now, some of these little young rappers, mothers, okay, old enough to be their mothers or their aunties and stuff like that. So it's really sad when people, are just jealous. You don't smoke weed. She thinks she's too good to smoke weed. Bitch, I ain't never smoked weed, ho. I don't want to smoke it. I ain't no weed head. Well, you can't judge nobody, cause I don't take pills. Never have. Don't want to. Well, I ain't too good. I never said you was too good. Okay, now what you're doing is you're putting me on the defense. Use a peel head junkie, bitch. Okay, see, I'm still her. I don't be wanting that to come out, but I ain't get ready to be into it with a bunch of bras that's sitting up hating. You looking at me and you hating. She thinks she's something. If I don't think I'm something, who is? Because I don't want to pop pills. Because I don't want to do drugs. But that's the type of energy, instead of just having fun. People look at you and they feel like you judging them. Okay, people feel like you judging them because you don't smoke, you don't pop pills. Okay, Lord, excuse me for cussing. Okay, um they feel like you judging them when all it is their insecurity. Okay, if you've been on drugs, you use that as a testimony. Okay, you use that as a testimony. Don't hate on somebody else, because or don't be automatically feeling like, well, she's sitting up, she prejudging me. I ain't thinking about you. I'm probably thinking about a business deal or something. I'm sitting there. And so that's why I say, and I know I'm getting into something else too. We have to first of all, that spirit of jealousy has to be called out in order for something to be done about it, because it resides over at every city, really, but especially I've seen it a lot in my city, right? um but we have to learn to preserve ourselves too. Right? We got to make sure we don't put ourselves in environments, especially since we see people are really really unstable now. Okay, you come and sit in there and you smell expensive. Okay, because I likes to smell expensive. Okay, you ain't even studying them. You thinking we was in the damn fourth grade together. I'm glad to see them. We in the fourth grade together. I love seeing it's even on Facebook when I see people that I was in a second kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. It just reminds me of growing up in the projects, and those were the best days of my life. We had fun. We were able to be children. So when I see them, I'm always really excited. So, I'm always real guarded, but my guard goes down, did go down a little bit because I'm like, dog, these are girls that, that we walked to school every day, a whole group of the project kids, we all walked together to school in droves and had fun and stuff like that. And you walk in and I guess they get a whiff of that expensive smelling perfume, and next thing you know, they staring at you. You glad to see them, you hugging them, and they looking at each other. I don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? They stare. So you don't smoke. You too good to smoke. No, I just don't smoke. I ain't never smoked weed. Never have. I don't pop pills. I don't do drugs. Okay. I don't. It don't mean I think I do think I'm too good to do drugs, but it don't mean I think I'm better than anybody else. I'm just too good to do drugs. Everybody ought to think that. And that is the issue. A lot of people, a lot of these rappers, even though God has given them a talent, people don't think enough of themselves. Okay. People don't think a lot of themselves. Hold on, y'all. Thank you for the new membership. Well runs black. He said, wonder why Key Glock is following Zebo on Instagram. Thought he was involved in Daw's murder. I don't know. I don't really know what Key, maybe Key Glock don't believe that. You know what I mean? Maybe he don't believe it. Says, amen. I agree, Monty. I don't drink or smoke. Right. And so, like I said, I get to thinking about these young men, and God is giving them a talent. And I'm gonna talk about the old ones too, because y'all know I goes in on the old ones, because we came from a different era, and I goes in on them bad, okay, on these men, because somebody needs to tell them, okay. Um, but a lot of these women, I always say, as far as the women, we're the models. Okay, we're the models of everything. When when a man is a leader, if whether he's a leader of the church, he's a leader, he's a supervisor, like a big name, big shit supervisor, or company owner, the next thing people look for is who is his wife. Okay, who is his wife? I always say we women, we're the models of our households, of our churches. Like, people look to us. We set the tone for everything. Hey, I was raised up old fashioned. I know I may not act like it because I talk a lot of crap, but I believe that the man is the head, but any man don't just qualify to be the head. I'm for because you can't be the head of my household, and you think you just gonna sit at the end of my couch and look at me, okay, and you ain't hitting a lick at a snake. Can't be the head of my household. You think you're gonna throw me off balance financially and not contribute anything, okay? As a matter of fact, you can't. I don't want you, right? But I do believe that the man is the head of the household. And I say all the time, the man is the head, because I grew up looking at men that were heads of their household. Hey, the woman is the neck. I ain't got no problem with being the neck, because the head can't move without the neck. Okay? Which means that we have a lot of influence. And so we have our sons and stuff. I don't have any sons. I wish God had given me some sons. Maybe I have a husband that'll have some sons. Maybe when I get married, hopefully my husband will have some sons. Those will be my sons, whether they're grown or not, right? But we have our sons and stuff looking at us, just as we do our daughters. And when you're hateful and jealous, and because I hear people say all the time, well, I'm a woman, I can't raise I can't teach no man how to be a man. Well, we've had women raising men of valor since the beginning of time. Since when are we have we started using that as an excuse to not raise our children the to the best of our ability? When they go awry, okay, well, that some of these women don't even know his dad ain't in the picture. I can't do nothing. What you mean, lady? You his mama. Women have been raising. There have been a lot of great men to come out of single parent homes. No, I cannot negate the fact that there have been women that have worked their behinds off and did everything they could to build some type of solid foundation on the inside of their children and raise them to the best of their ability. I would never take that away from a single parent, because there are a lot of men walking around here that's doing great. Okay, and they came out of a single parent household. Yes, it's good to have a good father in the household, because sometimes you can have a piece of shit and he'll mess around and mess him up worse if he abusive and all of that. The same thing with a mother. But there have been a lot of good men that have come out of single parent households. Okay. But now we use as an excuse, we hear women now, well, his daddy ain't no good. And well, it ain't nothing I can do. That's why he's staying out all night. I can't tell him nothing. I can't teach him how to be a man. You got women that are letting their sons and stuff 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stay out all night long, run a ride. Okay. And then the excuse that they use is, well, he doesn't have a father in the household. Okay, then a lot of people not gonna want to hear this. Hold on, y'all. Let me blow my nose. I'm sorry. A lot of people not gonna want to hear this, but it has to be spoken. A lot of these women get to complaining about what these men ain't doing, but you already knew that man had 5, 6 other kids, okay, and he wasn't doing nothing for them. You didn't choose right. Why did you think that he would do you any better? See, these are the types of things that we don't talk about. Bad decisions, and a lot of these bad decisions affect our children. Okay, a lot of these bad decisions affect our children. And I know I'm supposed to be talking about why do the rappers stay at each other necks, but this all go hand in hand, okay? Because it's a lot of emotionally unstable people walking around, and it started in their households, okay? We talk about all the time how we need to get kids in counseling. We need to do, and hey, I'm all for positivity and programs, and if kids are having issues, and trying to get them in some type of positive program. But they only at that program, just like they're only at school for 6-7 hours. They're at the programs in counseling and stuff even less, for an hour. What happens? They're going right back home to that toxicity. Okay, they're going right back home to that toxicity and everything that those kids have just been taught by somebody that means well. Rather it's a counselor, a mentor, or whatever, it goes straight out the door, because people are a product of their environment, right? People are a product of their environment. And so we see a lot of these rappers, these young rappers, because these are young men. I ain't got to the old ones yet, like Yo Gotti and them. I'm gonna get to them later, okay? The old coons. A lot of these young men are walking around emotionally unstable, okay? Yeah, these fathers, they need to get themselves together, because I feel like a lot of men have always been given excuses, okay? Yeah, I know I just said we need to choose right. Women need to choose better, but a lot of men have been given excuses not to do what they're supposed to do. I mean, so what if she was a one night stand? You still made a child. And people give excuses and allow these men to get away with that. Well, she was just a jump out. She was just a jump out. She got pregnant the first time. What does that mean? Okay, somebody's supposed to eat him up as soon as he say that. So you saying that you're not supposed to be a father to a child because the girl was a jump off and you chose not to use a condom? Okay. But then a lot of these men are, a lot of them are emotionally uh messed up too. Okay, emotionally unstable. And like I said, when emotions are unstable, that's jealousy and stuff is birthed out of stuff like that. Because I was always taught that jealousy is people get jealous of other people when they feel like they have something that they can't get or have. I think that's why I'm not a jealous hearted person, because anything I want, if it's for me, I know I can go and get it. So I mean that's why I don't spend my time being jealous of other people, right? But until the atmosphere is stable, because there's a lot of instability, and it starts at the very top. These young men are messed up. A lot of these young rappers are messed up because this, they're the older ones are messed up. They listen to their mamas be haters, and if they knew their daddies, they listen to them be haters, right? And there's a lot of emotional instability. Hey, I told y'all, like we see now, right? There's no unity in the community. We see now. I told y'all about my friend who is a teacher. He says that sometimes you have parents who, when the kids are not doing good, they'll try to call the parents and talk to the parents. The parents will block them, will block the teachers, some of them, so that they can't even call them and give them a report on their child. They don't come to the PTA meetings and all of that. Some parents, there are a lot of parents that do, they work their butt off and they get off work, and if there's a parent teachers conference or something like that, they're going straight to the school, right? But then they come up to the school when there's some mess. The child, because kids can be manipulative. We know that. We've all had children. We've all been kids. They come up to the school and they want to fight. That's why I say there's a lot of emotional instability in our community, and it's like it's triggering down to a lot of emotional unstable young people. Okay, a lot of emotional unstable young people. So um you know so why do the rappers, especially in Memphis, stay at each other's necks? Hey, I think at the core of some of it, a lot of it, I think it's jealousy. Like I said, we take Young Dolph and Yo Gotti's situation for example. Regardless to what happened, nothing that Young Dolph said, they should have been planning to take his life. There is nothing that he could have ever said. I don't care how bad it was. He could have said your mama, your daddy, your grandmama. Okay. It's not, you don't plot to take somebody's life. That's why, at the core of it, it was jealousy, because we've seen how when Yo Gotti and same thing with other rappers too, when they thought somebody was beneath them and they went at each other, they laughed at them. Oh, nigga ain't getting no money. You mad because you ain't getting no money. They kind of laugh at them. But because it was not like that with Young Dolph, because the spirit of jealousy is so prevalent, unfortunately. It's in the atmosphere. Um, yeah, they will block the teachers. They will block them on the phone. You had people plotting to take his life, and what's so sad is a lot of these older dudes that's in their 40s and stuff, because Young Dolph was not even, a lot of these dudes that was plotting on Young Dolph. Young Dolph was the era after them. Okay, so they even came from they definitely came from another, generation, another era, where they know that regardless to if you grew up in the streets or not, you already knew that there were things that you just did not do, and you just didn't plot to kill nobody. Okay, and I think because this newer generation is so misguided, you have a lot of vultures, a lot of OGs that have turned into vultures, right? What they do is, because they see how misguided, and unfortunately drugs are, different types of drugs and stuff out there on the street that a lot of these young people are trying and getting addicted to. Hey, they're just using them, unfortunately, as mules. Instead of trying to kick some knowledge to them, they are using them, to go and crash out. And like I said, for them. So, like I said, at the core of all of this stuff, with these rappers, the reason they're at each other's necks is because of jealousy. Now, y'all know I like Finesse 2 Times. I do. I like him. But and I think Finesse is funny and all of that, and Finesse is talented. He's one of the he's really a talented artist. But I think Finesse, you know, what's happening with Finesse, I think it happens all too often with a lot of, the rappers around our area. Now, I don't know if Finesse has realized that, he could really make a comeback if he started doing things differently. But I mean, things are starting to spiral out of control more and more and more. He ain't really got nobody to tell him anything, right? Um, but we starting to see how he's starting to, just go at different people, right? Um, I hope it does not really get out of control like that. I mean, because we look at it as being funny, but Finesse is kind of spiraling. Damon, I don't either. I don't understand millionaires beefing with each other. I just don't. That's why I say it's that spirit of jealousy. Like, people take their eyes off of whatever gifts and talents that God has given them, and they start putting their eyes on what somebody else got going on, and then the it that spirit of jealousy, it ignites that spirit of jealousy on the inside of these people. And unfortunately, these folks ain't able to control that spirit of jealousy, because that spirit of jealousy is giving birth to everything evil. It's giving birth to everything evil. It's giving birth to um murder, okay, hate, um everything evil. Nothing good comes out of that emotion, and jealousy is an emotion, and unfortunately people ain't trying to control it no more. There is no um discipline. People used to try when they felt something. Oh God, I feel something. They would try to get themselves together. Oh Lord, I ain't got no reason to feel this way. No, you know what? I'm gonna be happy for this person, for real, for real. Like, I'm not gonna allow that spirit of jealousy to come over me. Now, a lot of them are not even trying to control it. When that spirit of jealousy um, is ignited, okay, now they going into rooms trying to see how they can kill that person. Okay, and the person ain't necessarily did anything to them. It's just that they don't try and control it. It's this nigga think he got something. He won't let me in on it. Okay, I guess that's what I can't understand. And so these older guys are not teaching these young dudes that you go get your own stuff. You're a man. Work hard for it. Give them a lifeline. Meaning, if you could tell them something that could help them along the way. Young bruh, hey, you know, give them a nugget, go the independent route. If I were you, I would, sell records out of my car and do this, drop some nuggets. It ain't hurting their pockets. But unfortunately, like, and I keep saying unfortunate because it's all unfortunate. Um, it's a lot of chemical imbalance. Okay. When people are not given what they feel like they should have, even though it's not theirs, you got a record company, and I want you to sign me. And if you don't sign me, I'm gonna kill you. Okay, you know me, and you see I'm talented, and you don't want to fool with me. Oh yeah, we gonna kill that bitch ass nigga. It's unfortunate. So, uh, a lot of these rappers stay at each other's necks. Okay, because at the core of it, it's jealousy. Okay, they become jealous, some of them, and then what they start doing is attacking the others, the person that they're jealous of. Okay, they start throwing shots. They start invisible beefs to try and come up with a reason to try and take the person out. It's really just sad. It really is. Um, and these old dudes, okay, these older guys in their 40s and stuff, I'm so disappointed because they're old enough to be like these guys in their 20s and stuff. They're old enough to be their dads. First of all, they ain't even got no business dealing with no dudes. They ain't got no business running with no dudes that's in their 20s and they're in their 40s. They need to sit their old asses down. These are kids really up under them. But if it got something to do with some legitimate business, you ought to be trying to kick some type of knowledge. And listen, real businessmen, even if you got a talent and you ain't doing right, they ain't gonna fool with you. They'll say, yeah, dude, talented, but the risk is too high with him. Cause see, they really be about business and money for real. And then they go scouting other talent. But unfortunately, the more these kids, young dudes crash out, the more they want to be around them because at the core, a lot of these older dudes, they're evil. They got some type of evil heart. And they looking at, I can make some money off them and I can go get them to crash out. Because a lot of them are mentally unstable, these young guys, right? So that's why I say, y'all, that spirit of jealousy is prevalent and it's really hurtful to me because, I mean, Memphis is like the hub, if you ask me, for talent. It's so many talented dudes, like, the sound and all of that. I know they try to say that we're country. I think everybody in the South has their own twang, and all of them are country. Everybody, because I get to the further south you go, the countryer it gets. Because some of the people that like my friends down in Florida, I get tickled because, and y'all know that Florida is like I think that's the end of the South, isn't it? Like the deep, deep South. And you go down there and you listen to them, they talking about my children, and we going at the house, we're going at the door and all that, and we gonna we eat at and all of that. I'm like, oh wow. And then they'll listen to me. And I remember one of my friends said, girl, your kids talk just like you. They country just like you. I said, oh, okay. I said, you think I'm country? Girl, yeah, y'all country. I said, oh, okay. You say that coming from up out of South Florida. We gonna eat at. We going at the door. Oh, okay. All right. Cause I didn't know what that was. At. Oh, you mean outside? Oh, okay. Going out. Going out. Okay. Our children. Oh, okay. Children. So, I mean, I think everybody in the South has their own lingo and stuff. Hey, I love it though. I love listening. I love that. Seeing the difference in the South and the different lingo and all of that. But yeah. But I said that to say this, even though, I think God has shined a light on Memphis, because I remember, yeah, Memphis is very underrated. I remember a time like with New Orleans, like New Orleans had, like, it was just acquired. And they and I'm gonna tell y'all something. They don't think that they are country. They are dead. Oh my God. I have friends in New Orleans and I can't hardly understand what they're talking about half the time. Uh and it tickles me because they think that I'm country. Because when they get to talking about Earl, we put some Earl, you use olive Earl. And I was like, olive Earl? Because I'm thinking like that's something like that I never heard of, like something in the store that maybe I missed, I never had. Olive Earl? No, I never. Girl, everybody use olive Earl. No, girl, olive Earl. They talking about olive oil, like olive oil. But I remember a time when, like, New Orleans, like, because of their culture, and they're very proud of their culture. That what they have is broken French. That's what it is. It's broken. That's why they talk like that. It's really broken French. And but they were on top. Like the light was on their city. And I mean, and people still acquire their sound because I love that bounce music. And they took, what's the word that I'm looking for? They took the torch and they ran with it. I'm telling you. Baby and Master P was down there getting money, and believe it or not, it were a lot of other, like, them bounce rappers, even if they are not as famous, them bounce rappers getting money. They took the torch and they ran with it. You didn't hear about them killing each other like that. Now we're starting to, now OG Murder is shining the light on a whole lot of stuff that's going on now within the bounce community, as far as like the H to the I to the V is being passed around by one producer heavily. And I'm proud of OG Murder for exposing that. Okay. But down there in New Orleans. But yeah. And so there's no reason, and I'm sure Baby and Master P, you could tell when they had their verses, okay? From the way Baby act, him and Master P has had some issues in the past, but it never came to them killing each other. They kept the main thing, and that was making their label unique, okay? They was probably competitive, but they was competitive in the studio, making them hits and stuff, which is where it should be at. But we never heard nothing about them shooting at each other. Both of them still alive. We ain't heard nothing about their artists taking each other out. Okay, so that's why I say, but I mean, it takes a strong mind. Okay, those are because I respect both of them for that. Okay, and I think that, with Master P and Baby, hey, with them being CEOs, they said P didn't even allow that. If there was some issues going on, they said P really ran his tank like a colonel. He didn't want his soldiers beefing because it was bad for business. So Yo Gotti, how you gonna be a CEO? And I get to looking at Yo Gotti now. And I hope that God is dealing with his heart and stuff. But I was looking at him on his sister's page. I look at Yo Gotti's eyes. Yo Gotti looks sad. I can't nobody tell me now. He probably thought in the beginning, okay, that this was something that would have been sweet, okay. But I think it's starting to sink in with because he's lost a lot, okay. He unfortunately lost his brother. I don't know if that had anything to do with Young Dolph. If it didn't have anything to do with Young Dolph, it probably has something to do with the politics of it. Okay. It was in the inner gates of it, surrounded, I'll say that, of what happened to him, but I don't necessarily believe that Young Dolph's people did that to him. Okay, but I do believe like the politics of it may have had something to do with. I don't know. We need to ask Quet. Quet, if we keep Quet gonna tell it after a while. Okay, I'm gonna keep listening to him. I be waiting. I said, Lord, let him get on here. Let him get on one day and be drunk. Okay, because Quet be getting high and be getting drunk. I said, Lord, please let this be the day for him to let it slip out. Okay, because I believes he knows what happened because he almost said it one day. Okay, and I held my breath. I said, damn, he backed up off of it. Okay, because he said, yeah, indeed. Now he ain't gonna get high and drunk no more when he on. He ain't gonna get high no more. Okay, you have to listen to him when he come on late when he driving and he high and stuff. He be letting I want him to let that slip out, okay? Because I believe he knows what happened. Because he said everybody in the street know, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you something. When that first happened, I'm all over the place, and y'all, I got the flu, so we got time. I can't do nothing but sit up on the couch and drink hot stuff. My nose and stuff stopped up. When it first happened, somebody came into my chat. They sure know what happened because somebody came into my chat. One of the rappers in Memphis, I'm not going to say his name. Him and some more people came into the chat and said, T, it didn't have nothing to do with Young Dog. It was some street stuff. That's what he said. It was some street stuff. So I don't know who it was. Anytime they go, I don't want to know who it was, child. I fear for my life. I don't. Anytime somebody can go up in a funeral and do what them folks did, I don't want to know nothing about them. If you try to tell me, I'm gonna tell you, don't tell me. I don't want to know because I don't want their energy pointed at me. I don't know nothing, ain't heard nothing, ain't seen nothing. Okay. But I listen, but I do want for Quet to say it. I want him to say it, okay? But I don't want nobody to tell me personally. I want to know when everybody else know, okay? What happened to him? Hold on, y'all. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. Okay, y'all. Cause like I said, it's funny that I went live as soon as I remember when that happened. I told y'all my cousins and stuff out in the street. Well, they ain't out in the street no more. They smart. One of them on the Y'all go over there to the rocking chair. Okay, they're really business savvy men now. Praise God. And anyways, one of them had them Bovan folks had always been around my family. You know, it's a lot of shit I don't say, and I don't have to say it though. But them Bovan people had always been around our family because my cousin had lived with one of those girls, Carol, the sister, for a long time. She lived with him for many years, and Carol is still really, we still like her a lot. Yeah, still like her a lot. So I remember when those guys used to come to my aunt's house and stuff. But that funeral was loaded with people. Okay. And so I remember when that happened to Juke, like all of my phones was dead. Okay. My phones was dead. And I remember like my mama was able to get me. I had just charged up one of my phones and popped on and my mama was calling. She was like, I ain't gonna say who it was, such and such just calling you. She said she been trying to call you now for about an hour. I said, really? I said, yes. She said they killed Gotti brother. She was she was at the, they were at the thing. And so I called her and she was still like in a panic. She was like, Yeah, she was like, he out there right now. She was still there. She said, he out there, he gone. He is gone. And then like shortly after that, um, that picture started circulating. Now, whoever took that picture, you know, for somebody to take time to take a picture of a man laying on the ground, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody take that picture and then circulate it on the internet? Why? It's got to be an old cold-hearted, evil, low-down, dirty skunk to do something like that. That's evil. Now, people say, well, you was crying. Yes, I did cry. I cries about everything. Okay, I cry when I'm mad. I cry when I'm happy. That's one of my things. I likes to cry. Okay, and so he said people pay for pictures. Yeah, but I mean, did somebody pay for that picture? Because I don't see, because it was circulating on the internet. Like everybody got the opportunity to see it, though. So you think the person who paid for the picture put it out first? That's what you're saying? Yeah, that's what they were trying to do with Doll. That's exactly what they were trying to. It's weird though how all it, because I still remember. I still remember other. I tell you, uh, with that young Doll situation, I tell you, mm-mm, mm, mm. I think it's a lot of stuff they ain't saying. They haven't said. Um, yeah, mm-mm. I ain't gonna say it either anymore. Little Miss Muffin says, yeah, but you know what made me upset was, you know, to see Juke's mother kneel down over him like that. You could tell, you know, she was in a desperate, you know what I mean? You kneel down over your son, and just looking at Big Juke, you could tell just on the picture, you could tell that he was no longer here. You could tell that he wasn't with us anymore. Um, and to see his mother kneel down over him, you could see the desperation. Um, and I'm sorry, y'all, the desperation and stuff. Like, you know, being a mother. I mean, of course, it hurt. It hurt me. You know, it hurt me because like I wanted to see Big Juke go to jail for his part, but I didn't want to see that. I mean, I would be an evil, cold-hearted person to to be like that. You know what I mean? That's why even with like Govan, I believe that Govan was involved, but when people started, you know, when people was mad about his verdict and they was coming in, you know, wanting to talk about his daughter, I said, no, that's evil. Like I don't. What kind of host would I be to be the overseer of this channel and then allow people to come in here and spread that type of evil? Like that's putting that evil into the atmosphere. I feel like I have a responsibility to like watch, and that's why I have my moderators too, to protect like the energies and stuff that's put out in this chat, because there are a lot of evil people. And so, you know, and a lot of these people that do that stuff, like their parents, what kind of mother would I be to be sitting up saying, yeah, you know, because such and such? No, I can't. I ain't that type of person. Hell, I got kids. And I feel like that what they did to her was dirty. She was still a baby. She was about 24, 25 years old. I'm in my damn 40s and got kids the exact same age as she is. What kind of damn woman would I be, let alone a mother? And I think people need to think about stuff like that when folks say, well, you must be scared of Govan. I ain't scared of no damn Govan. It's just that I'm a different type of person. I'm just really careful about the energies that I allow people to speak out. Me feeling like that Goman was involved in what happened to his daughter. Those are two different things. Hell, if I was gonna get into a pissing match with him, it ain't nowhere in the world I would ever bring his child up. Okay? And I ain't getting into no pissing match with no man. But I ain't bringing up nobody's child getting killed in cold blood. And I'm a damn mama. I'm not going to put that energy out there, and I got damn kids of my own. You have to be careful about what you put into the atmosphere. So I can't let people come in here and speak that evil, and y'all see that and that stuff. You have to watch what you allow to go into your ear gate and your eye gate. A lot of these people are flat foot evil. Because anytime you sit up to my, yeah, that's why your child dead. No, absolutely not. That's evil. Yeah, Mia J seems to be very happy. Juke was at Doss mural. I never knew that. That's right, the Black Barbie. No, especially that evil stuff. When you get to talking about that's why your child dead, I don't want nobody like that in my chat, anyways. I don't care who child it is. I don't want nobody like that in my chat. Anytime you could be sick enough to say that's why your child got killed, I'm gonna have to go ahead and just go and block you, because I don't need your energy up in here, because that's evil on a whole nother level. When you start talking about somebody child being brutal, I mean, that girl was killed in cold blood, and she was still a baby. And a lot of these people, look, a lot of these damn people that be saying that stuff, they my age too. She could have been their damn child. They old and can't control their damn emotions and got kids her age. Hell, what? It ain't nothing. That's the reason, it ain't nothing. A 25-year-old, that's still a damn baby. Oh, Dolph's picture that was in the airport. Mm. Y'all hit that like button for me. I told y'all I don't go with men. I just because I feel like a man that goes at a woman, that's a different type of animal. That's the reason why I say I'm gonna go ahead and just put the police on you, because anytime most men that are stable and sane, they don't really go with women. So I feel like when a man goes at a woman, that's automatically a threat and it warrants the police. Okay, I'll let you fight with them. He said, "Let Miss Buffy, you talking about the one with money? Yeah, that one in the airport." I never understood what was Big Jug's problem with Young Dolph. Maybe I missed something. I never understood, because I thought him and Young Dolph had been cool. Even when, because when they shot, when Keon and them shot at Young Dolph in North Carolina, and you weren't hearing about Big Jug being involved in that. People didn't even bring up Big Jug's name when that happened. The North Carolina situation. Oh, I think Jug them like some of these dudes. I'm gonna tell y'all something. You know, people get on social media and flex and stuff, and they might have a little bit more than the average person, but how they getting it? Some of these folks, like to rob people. Some of these folks be robbing folks. And you have to think about like some of these guys, they graduate, I guess, as their status may go up, so they graduate from actually being a stick up guy to getting other people to go and rob these people for them. But folks still be, they people get word now of these folks that be robbing these folks now. And so yeah, I don't even know where that came from. I don't know why I even said that. I'm just saying, like, oh, I said that to say this. Like, okay, so I said that to say this. Like, some of these guys, you may think that they really making money, right? But they still be robbing big drug boys people that they are mutual friends with, or whatever, mutual associates with. I ain't gonna say nothing else about that. Right, his loyalty was to his brother, and I'm not mad about his loyalty, as because my loyalty would be to my sister. But I ain't gonna let nobody send me out to kill nobody now. Who is S May? He said S May will go, man. Who is S May? Oh, he said same with Govan. Govan, Govan went. Was he? Mm, mm. Oh, he said Govan and Juke used to trap with Dolph. They fell out over money. So when you say they fell out over money, how they fall out over money? How they fall out over money? I know they said Juke bragged about getting money from Dolph and not paying him back. Now I know they said he did. He bragged about it. Um, and when I and that's another way of like robbing folks, right? Uh, so we know Juke ain't paid for no hit. I'm just saying that right now. Juke ain't paid for no damn hit. He ain't have it. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. He didn't have it. Um, yeah. Um, but how did Dolphin and Govan fall out over money? Cause this is my first time hearing that. Well, yeah, definitely. Oh, okay, so Govan owed Young Dolph some money. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know Govan and Dolph was even had even dealt with each other like that. Oh Lord. Mm. Oh my God. So Govan said on Vlad interview that he owed Dolph some money. Oh my God. So which interview was that so I could pull it up? Which interview? Because he done did several of them with Vlad. Which interview was that? Tell me which one so I could pull it up. Oh, he said he trapped with Dolph? Oh wow. Oh, they fell out over money. So what did the streets say about that, John Brown? So what was the circumstances of them falling out over money? What happened? You know, I'm interested. Hey, I am She Johnson. Yeah, I see that too. Little Miss Muffin. I'm waiting for for John Brown to type. I'm interested in knowing. So was Govan working for a doll at one time? He said, "All right, well, let's be honest. Dolph was a big trapper of weed, and Govan owed money to Dolph for supplying him drugs to sell and didn't pay, and they fell out over it." Oh, now I see what you're saying. I think the same thing had happened with Juke. Well, that was the rumor. Lord, I tell you. Hey, straight to the point. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, excuse me. I'm gonna make me some hot lemon water with turmeric, as hot as I can get it for my throat. Oh, and the weather started dropping. It's 26 degrees now. Mhm. My head's starting to stop up again. I hope this flu go away by tomorrow. Use some, yeah, I'm gonna put some ginger in it too. I got me a big thing of a ground ginger from Ross's. They had a real big thing with a red tag on it. Yeah, I got it. And I'm gonna put some of that in there too. Cause my throat's still sore. It's the weather, the temperature instead of dropping, my head starting to stop up again. Hold on, y'all. Let me blow my nose. Thank you, She Johnson. What's up, Cypress? I never thought I'd be. I never thought I would say this. I'm ready, but I love my job though. But I'm ready to go back to work. I am. I had no idea I was going to get the flu. I'm ready to go back to work so I can get out in the field. Whew. Oh no, I don't want to see that. He said go to 240 mark on Govan's interview with Vlad. Which one is it? Because he did a lot of interviews with Vlad. Okay, it's 1 hour and 13 minutes long. Hold on, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Hold on, y'all. We belong together. We belong together. One thing for sure, I'm gonna lost a lot of weight by the time this flu leave me, cause I can't eat. I can't do nothing but drink broth and eat a little bit of chicken noodle soup. Hold on, y'all. All I'm seeing is the shorts. All I'm seeing is the shorts that he did on Vlad. Let's see if it be in here. Those are all the shorts. I mean, that's all I see is the shorts. Hernandez Govan full interview. Okay, you said it's at 2:40 minute mark. Oh, okay. He said he knew Dolph before he. Okay, okay. I see it now. He said he did business with him years ago. He said he knew him personally. It's just I took vacation off my job for 2 months. Just don't know what to do with myself every day. You took off for girl vacation for 2 months. Well, I tell you, that's like a leave. I wish I was going to say I wish I could take off for 2 months. You know what? I actually love my job though. Like I love helping people. I love to sit down and talk to people. I do. I just do. I love it. So God really blessed me. Like I loved it when it was in the when I was doing it in the private sector. Um Also, the only thing about it was like way more stressful in the private sector because everything moved real fast. Um, it moves fast now, but it's not as stressful. So, I mean, I like to sit down and talk to people. It's always surprising to me how like vulnerable people can be. He said they sold weed and that he knows Daddy O. I left December 15th, returning February 16th. Feels good not to get up. Cypress said, get on a plane and go somewhere. I need to be planning me a vacation. I want to go somewhere where it's hot though. My mom has always wanted to go to Florida. I'm gonna tell y'all where I would not mind going again. I love it. The food is so good down there in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Oh my God, y'all, the food is so good. The food is so good. I want to go back to Gulf Shores, but it's probably cold. It's probably a little chilly right now. Because Gulf Shores is right there by Pensacola, but it's probably Pensacola is probably northern Florida. Let's see the temperature in Gulf Shores. Oh my freaking God! It is 36 degrees down there right now. Yeah, I could live in Gulf Shores. I be looking at homes and stuff down there. It's a lot of money in that town. I could live down there for retirement. But that's the coast though. They probably get a lot of storms. If y'all ever go there, get have this restaurant called Mike's. The food is so freaking good. They got the best. The noodles even taste good on the pasta. I don't know what they soak it in. Ooh, 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 ooh. They sure were building houses like, I'm an X on about it, that one. Let's see. I like solid houses. Like, um, I'm trying to understand why these folks selling two-bedroom houses for $300,000. Looks like the houses have gone up more down there. They're going up higher than what they were before. Mm-mm. I guess I'll just have to just vacation in Gulf Shores. I guess I'll just have vacationing. I wonder if they had alligators down there. Because y'all know Florida have a lot of alligators. Let me show y'all something. Hold on. Child, I don't reckon Govan trying to hack into my damn computer. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I want to show y'all something. He probably got mad because I said his name and started trying to hack into my computer. Y'all look, y'all. Every day, this is what I've been looking at. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is what bothers me so bad. What they're trying to do now is sell to. I, I can I a 2 bedroom houses. No, a 2 bedroom. Hold on for a second, y'all. It's something going on. Um, yeah, this is the area I've been looking at. Now I don't particularly because it looks that one looks like a little bird house. I don't like the kitchen. I don't like the kitchen, so I don't like the kitchen. But that's the area I've been really looking at. I'm gonna show y'all another house I had looked at, and I was waiting for it to go down, and somebody got it. I'm gonna show y'all. Hold on, you all. Oh my freaking god! Hold on, it's not pending anymore. Oh my god! And it has gone down a whole 100,000. It's not pending anymore because it was pending. Because I was like, I was waiting for it to go down, and then it started. It was pending. I guess the people couldn't get it. Y'all, this house right here. My heart was so broken when this house was pending. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I like about it. I like the kitchen. I like I love the kitchen. I love the kitchen area and I love the fact I love the windows where you can see the swimming pool. Now, the restrooms and stuff look outdated. It's going Can y'all hear me? Y'all, I promise y'all, I cried when this house was pending. Let me show you though. The view of the street is really nice. It looks like the houses are kept up in on their street. It's got a fireplace in the kitchen. The swimming pool is beautiful. It's got an outhouse back there. Anyways, he said, "What a gorgeous." You like the restroom? I don't know. The restrooms look outdated, but so if they got it for 304, because they've dropped it down. It was 400 and something. They've dropped it. Let's see. Hey, McNames. The only problem with that is that's in Bartlett. I like the island. I love. I want to live on the island. She said put in an offer in factory and updates. Yeah, because it was pending and something went wrong and the prices definitely dropped. So if they got it for 345,000, they've dropped it down from 400, which it was overpriced anyways. They probably paid 200 and something for it. Let's see something with the outdated restaurants. Let's see. Hmm. If it stay on the market a little bit longer, they're gonna drop the price some more. Anyways, y'all, I've been on here for almost 2 hours. I need to make me some a hot toddy and take my medicine and get off of here. I appreciate you all getting on with me early this morning. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe, okay? I love you all. I'll talk to you later.